What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Correlation Nation. This is the PropSpot, and today it is April 1st, April Fools. We got a pretty nice little, I think, a 6-game slate, pretty decent size slate. So we're gonna hop right over to RotoWire and just kind of get in touch with the injury updates. So let's see what's going on. So we have Aldama. He's questionable to play due to illness. I'm going to say right now that, he is probably a game time decision. The only thing I would probably play on him is a rebound prop if he's to play, but him being questionable with, illness, it really makes me more hesitant to play any type of props on him. You never know what you're going to get out of a sick player. And then on the other side, we have Cade Cunningham. He is a game time decision as well. I'd say he's pretty likely to play, so he's still, they're still managing looks like the knee injury he's been dealing with. So let's see what the analysis is. Been in and out of the lineup recently, has continued to nurse a lingering knee issue, and finds himself on the injury report once again heading into Monday's contest. Yeah, so I'd say he has a pretty good chance of playing. He's been playing more minutes here lately. He was stuck around that 30-minute mark, and then apparently he got up there like 36, 37 in his last game. Was even subbed back in. So I would say he has a chance to play. Any other notable injuries? Yeah, Bain will be out. Nothing else really new on that. And then on the other side, Sasser's questionable, so he probably has a chance to play too. But you'll just have to keep an eye on that on the injury report. And then we have Brooklyn and Indiana. Cam Johnson's out. He's been out, and Finney Smith's been starting. So I'd look to see that continue. On the other side, we have no notable injuries, so pretty clean over there. Moving down to Portland and Orlando. So Anthony Simons is still out. I'm not even sure. He must have had a pretty significant injury. Let's look at it real quick. Oh, so he's just dealing with knee tendonitis. Yeah, we'll just have to keep our eye on that. I mean, he's obviously ruled out for today, so I'd say they're probably just looking to lose most of these games. Scoot Henderson, pretty good role mostly, but obviously a very up and down player as far as production, foul trouble, and all that goes. So on the other side, we don't really have any notable injuries. Jeremy Grant still game time decision, probably pretty unlikely to play, I'd say. Boston, they do have a couple on the injury report, and that's Jaylen Brown and Porzingis. The other side's completely depleted. Micic is questionable, got dinged up yesterday. He's, I'd say, a true game time decision, if not even doubtful. And then we have Nick Richards, which is also another guy that usually plays, around 28 minutes or so. He's also, let's see what it says. Yeah, this just says questionable, but I don't know. I think I heard whispers of them being doubtful. So, keep your eye on that starting lineup for sure. If those guys don't play, I mean, it's pretty significant. I'd say the spread's already way out of control. So look for Jaylen Brown and Porzingis to potentially set. That's not to say they will. You never really know. But just keep your eye on it for sure. It's going to affect the way that you play props in that game. So take a little mental note of that. Phoenix. No notable injuries over there. And then Pelicans, so Brandon Ingram's still out. Atlanta, Trae Young's out, Okongwu's out. And then Jalen Johnson is showing that he is returning. So that's a pretty significant return to the lineup. I don't really have anything on Jalen Johnson as far as props go. And I wouldn't really look to play those anyways, just based off of him coming back from injury. You don't know what his role is going to be. You kind of got to project him at a lower minute, so somewhere between I'd say between 22 and 26. But he hasn't been off for a long time. I would say it's just the nature, he did have a sprained ankle, but he was only out for a week and a half. Yeah, I don't know. He might still get pretty good minutes as long as his ankle holds up. You know, you may see him get around 30. But, you know, we just got to wait and see. Chicago, Dasumu is questionable and Caruso's questionable, and they're both probably pretty likely to play. And then that's kind of it. We don't really have any other injuries. So let's go ahead and go over to our notes. We'll run through this. And let me move this out of the way. So, up at the top, we got Duran, 10 rebounds, 11 points. I'll say these numbers are pretty live today. The Pistons are going to come up against the Grizzlies. Duran is, you know, a very strong rebounder. It shows that it's a good matchup. Grizzlies, I don't know. I think it's kind of iffy because I've seen this spot fail. So even though they may show on paper that they give up a lot of rebounds, that's potentially because it's going to another spot. But the way I like to look at this, I don't break this down like position by position. I think it's more Duran's one of the strongest rebounders on his team. As long as he gets his minutes, you know, if he gets around, you know, let's say 24 to 28 minutes or 26 to 28 minutes, which is pretty typical, he's going to get to this 10 rebound. You know, he's a very strong rebounder, and he can easily go over that. 11 points. He's a guy that the offense can be there, but he's not really an offensive player. So I say that, but, you know, he's got a lot of, he does get to 20-20 quite a bit. But I don't know. I don't know that you want to look to play his points prop a whole lot. Anyways, moving on. It is a live number. Miles Turner, 5 rebounds, 12 points. You know, I never really loved to play this guy's rebound prop. He's not a super strong rebounder, but 5 is pretty low. I mean, you can look to play it, but, you know, I don't love it. 12 points I like a lot more. Siakam, 7 rebounds, 9 points. Yeah, he's been getting there, so he's not typically like a super strong rebounder, but I've noticed that since he's gone to Indiana, his per 36 on rebounds has gone up. So, you know, either just the position he's in or like the opportunity he's getting is increased. You know, I don't think he gets a ton of minutes. He usually plays right around 30 minutes. Not to say you can't go over that, but usually it's around 30 minutes. And so 7 rebounds, it's pretty live for him, honestly. And then 19 points is also pretty live. I think that, you know, he's obviously an offensive minded player, and he can get to 19 pretty easily. Wendell Carter, 6 rebounds, 9 points. Yeah, I'm just gonna say right now, I don't really love this guy for any prop. You know, his role is a bit questionable. I've seen him kind of fluctuate lately, going, you know, from mid-20s to upper 20s to mid-20s. You know, you could kind of go through his recent production and see that it's a little bit checkered. Let's hop over there just real quick and see what we're looking at. So you can see 28, 24, 19, 23, 23, 24. Yeah, I don't think you can project him for anything more than the, like, you know, I think 23 minutes would probably be a relatively good spot to settle in at. But again, you can get to 19, and then, you know, what are you looking at? You know, his rebounds are, you know, 6 rebounds. He's only been under 6 rebounds twice in the past 10. You know, and his scoring's all over. He's been as low as 3 and as high as 15, 13. Yeah, so, you know, that's why you get a little bit sketched out by this guy. So I don't really love anything that's going on with him. Banchero, 5 rebounds, 19 points. Yeah, I don't love this guy's rebound prop either. Not a super strong rebounder, but in a good spot. You know, they are playing Trailblazers. They give up quite a few rebounds. Now, if Aiden's playing, it's going to take some of that away. I'm not going to look to play that prop, but 19 points is pretty live. I look at him as a pretty volatile play. I've never loved Banchero a whole lot. Pretty inconsistent player, in my opinion. And let's pull up his stats. So he averages 19 in the past 10. But look, I mean, that's in 30 minutes, but Memphis, you got 13 points right there. 23, 15, 22, 20, 13. I mean, like I said, dude's inconsistent. He just is. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care how great you want to play him out to be. Just inconsistent. Tatum, 7 rebounds, 25 points. these are very live numbers. He's in a spot to get there. The only question is the line. The line or the spread. It's going to be wide. We know it's going to be wide. Do we want to play it? Let me grab this real quick. We're going to grab this purple. We'll bring it down a little bit. And this line's going to be wide. Oops. We were good till we weren't. So, I don't know. Look to see if Brown and Porzingis set. If they set, something the Celtics do, and they are a very good team, but something they do and are known to do is they play down to their competition. They've done this all year. I've watched them. They have these really wide spreads, and then they just play down to their competition. The games stay relatively close enough to keep people in. So if Jaylen Brown sits, Porzingis sits, I look for Jason Tatum to get to these numbers. And then even on the points prop, I've got the 25 highlighted. It is a high number, but with the other guys, if they set, I don't mind the 25. It's just more that if they don't, it's kind of a high number. You got a lot of offensive players. He does get to this number pretty frequently, but there's always that possibility that it's not required, especially in a game like this. So you want to be, aware of that fact. But like I said, if these other guys set, then they play down to their competition. He's super live to get to these numbers and even exceed them, honestly. So just keep your eye on that starting lineup, see if those other guys start or not, and then make your call based off that. Claxton, 9 rebounds, 10 points. This is a good spot for Claxton. Claxton's going against the Pacers. I don't know that I want to play a points prop against him. Miles Turner's relatively good defender. I mean, he really is. He's a rim protector. That's kind of what he does. The matchup looks good on paper, but I don't know that that's the spot I want to play offense on them. But the 9 rebounds is live. Claxton's a pretty strong rebounder. He gets pretty good minutes. So I think the 9 rebounds is live, maybe even 10. So we'll move on. Vucevic, 9 rebounds, 15 points. I'm not looking to play this guy's points prop. He can definitely get there. But again, it's kind of like Boston in a way where, they just have all these offensive guys. He kind of falls down the totem pole. The Bulls are playing. They're playing the Hawks. Capella on the other side potentially. Yeah, I would say the rebound prop. And even that's a little bit questioned because Capella is such a good rebounder. But Vucevic in his own right's not too bad. I mean, the guy is a, like 11 per 36 type of guy. So he could definitely get to 9, depending on how many minutes he gets. Maybe not my favorite prop, but I definitely think the 9 rebounds is super live. But I'm certainly not looking to play the points prop, not in this spot. If some of the other guys are setting and he's in a more favorable matchup, I might look at it. I mean, they're definitely a fast-paced team. I think they've slowed down quite a bit lately, but the Hawks are usually pretty fast. Anyways, moving on. Drummond, 7 rebounds. Obviously, like, super volatile role, but, one of the strongest rebounders in the game. And, he gets to this, even on very minimal numbers. I mean, look where minutes are. This guy gets, 14 minutes, and it's like he's going to get there in 14 minutes. Let's pull him up just real quick, because you'd think a guy that's this limited playing time is not going to get there. Averages 16 minutes, 17, 17, 18, 19. So, around that 6, or, just the mid-teens. Only been under 14 once. And you can see only under 7 twice. So, if you can find the 7 rebound prop, it's pretty live, I would say. It's just, obviously, the minutes are limited, and it makes it a lot more difficult, especially in a matchup like this where Capella's on the other side. And even though Drummond is a better rebounder, it's just a volatile bet. But, it's likely. It is a live number, just volatile. Capella, 8 rebounds, 10 points. I think it's a live number. Like I said, you do have 2 pretty good rebounders on the other side. Now, the thing that I question about him the most in this spot is just his role. Okongwu looks to be out, so I think the 8 rebound and the Bulls are a large team, so I think that secures his minutes quite a bit. But you just really never know. They could go small. And that's honestly the only reason I have him down at 8. Otherwise, I'd have him like 9 or 10. But I look for him to get around 27, 28 minutes. And I'd probably go past this. You're looking at, I would say, 9 or 10 rebounds. So I think 8's pretty live. Aldama, we mentioned him in the injury part of the video, questionable due to illness, 4 rebounds, pretty live number, but I'm not going to look to play this, and typically I would, but I'm not going to look to play this today due to the injury, or sorry, to the illness. Uh, Nick Richards, he is questionable. We just got to keep our eye on this. I'm probably not going to play it just due to the injury, but 7 rebounds if he does play, it's always a live number. Just not my favorite prop. Miles Bridges, 7 rebounds, 18 points. Not the strongest rebounder, and honestly, his rebounds are kind of all over the place. But he's a capable rebounder, and the minutes are going to be very strong. I would say the only way I'd say this guy gets cut down is Boston plays other guys, and they get down 30 points by half or something. I could see Miles getting cut down, but that's probably not going to happen. They're short bodies, and they just need it. Now, again, rebound prop, super volatile, dudes all over the place. 18 points, so it's pretty live, especially if this guy starts getting up. It is a tough matchup. Boston's, tough defense, but 18 points is more than doable for Bridges. So, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it is my favorite prop just based off the matchup, but I think it's a live number. Nurkic, 9 rebounds. Who's the Suns playing today? So they're playing the Pelicans. This is a tough spot for sure. But, he's also a guy that's one of the better rebounders in the league. He gets pretty good run, 26 to 28 minutes typically. Came back from injury lately. Let's see what his minutes have been these past few games, because I know that he had rolled his ankle pretty bad and then come back. So let's see what he's been doing just these past few games. Yeah, 22, 19, 23. So his minutes have definitely been cut down. And that's probably just, returning from the injury. Let's see what his production is. 3, 9, 10. The 3 in Oklahoma is kind of a surprise, but I don't know. We'll mark this as volatile. I mean, like I said, his minutes have been kind of cut at the moment. So this is a volatile bet. We don't know what his role is going to be, how many minutes he's going to be at. What we could do is, give me 1 second, and I'm going to pull up the per 36 just real quickly, and we'll see what he would do at like 20 minutes, around 20 minutes, get a number. I'm not sure I caught on to this when I originally done it, so let's see. Nurkic is okay, he's a 14.4, 13 over a career, but this season he's been a 14.4 per 36. So we'll just we're at 0.4 per, hold on. And then we'll just multiply that by, we'll do 20, we'll say so. So we're like 8. So let's cut him down to 8. Just to be on the safe side, because if he only gets 20 minutes, I would rather be prepared. I mean, because I think he's going to play for sure. So Nurkic, 8 rebounds. I'd say that's a pretty good spot. It is a tough spot, but 8's pretty doable for him. Like I said, pretty strong rebounder. Same thing with J-Val. I mean, this is a tough spot for both of them. But J-Val, he's also a strong rebounder, and we haven't projected at a lower number. He's, not probably going to get much more minutes than that. So I would bet him between 6 and 8, starting at 6 being my favorite, and then 8 is a potential, but 8's on the higher end of like him getting more minutes. And honestly, the matchup might allow that, because what are they going against each other? Is that right? Let's see. Yeah, they're going against each other. The matchup might allow for it, but it's a wait and see. This guy's always volatile. His role's always volatile. It's up in the air. They could play. Sorry, they could play Larry Nance. They could play Zion at the 5. Probably not likely, but they could. So, anyways, moving on. Zion, 5 rebounds, 21 points. He's been getting there on his rebounds, but it's volatile. He's not the strongest rebounder. He's another guy that's kind of all over the place. It is a tough matchup for him. And then 21 points is probably more reasonable. I don't love Zion, but I think the points prop's pretty live. I'm not going to look to play it in too much stuff, but I think it's a pretty live number. I don't want to say I hate it. I just don't love it. This dude, I'm going to play it, and that dude's going to fail me. Murphy, five rebounds, 10 points. I kind of like his rebound prop more than Zion's. I'd say his minutes are fairly secure. He's probably going to get there in minutes. Career-wise, his rebound numbers are not the best, but he's also not been in a position to get a bunch of rebounds. So I think today, or in just his recent production, shows that, he's more capable than his career numbers show. So he's definitely like outproducing those numbers. I'm going to pull him up real quick. I want you to kind of take a look at this. So we got Trey Murphy. So just in, or averaging 33 minutes in the past 10, 6.6 rebounds. His per 36 is right around 6. But then you see now that he's playing heavier minutes, 39 in 3 straight games, 6, 11, and 9, 8, 8, so he's getting over. Yeah, I would say he's pretty capable. I think the 5 rebounds on Trey Murphy's a very live number, as well as the 10 points. I kind of like these props. 8 rebounds, 12 points. I don't know what his minutes are going to look like, honestly. He's a pretty good rebounder, 12 per 36, around that. But he did come back from injury here recently, 25, 26. So we probably got him around that. So he left on the 20th, come back on the 29th, played 25 minutes. I don't want to project him for anything more than that. Now, I do think he could get up higher. I think he gets 28, 30. But I'm not going to project him for anything more than that. So we have him at 25, 8 rebounds, 12 points, with the potential for him to play more minutes. So his numbers could go up. Now, mind you, it is a tough spot. Portland's playing the Magic. I don't like playing rebound props against this team. One of the stronger rebounding teams in the league. And just a tough matchup overall. Slower paced team. So I don't love this prop. I don't love this guy. Cam Thomas, 21 points, is a very live number. Getting a little more touch time. Already got quite a bit, I think. It's a good spot for him. He's a guard against going against Indiana. They're pretty fast paced. They have gotten a little bit better defensively lately. Sorry, but 21 points. I think super live. This guy, he's kind of a guy that can just score at will. He could have an off game for sure. But Halliburton. I think it depends on how they match up, but I don't see the guards. Halliburton's obviously one of Indiana's better players. But, he's more of a distributor, and not to say that he can't score, he can, but he's been in a bit of a slump, here recently. Ooh, sorry. Had some good games, had some bad games. And I just look for him to distribute a little bit more. And I'm not going to be so worried about Cam Thomas getting into foul trouble with Halliburton. That's not to say it can't happen, but it's not a huge concern for me. So I think we're okay. Like, I'm not worried about him getting into foul trouble, and I think 21 points is more than live. I think it's a good matchup. I do like that prop. Michael, 14 points. Yeah, it's a live number. It's doable. I just, this guy's also another guy that, his production's just all over the darn place. And we don't ever like that for betting purposes. So, I mean, yeah, checker just everywhere. 13, 25, 19, just absolutely everywhere. So, I'm not going to be looking to play this guy's points prop. Schroeder, 12 points. Yeah, I think his number's a little bit more live. The thing I'd be worried about with him is that he is a little bit more of a distributor on this team. When they're fully healthy. But there's only 2 games in the past 10 he went under 12. So it is a live number. It's just, do you think he's going to get there? Do you think he's going to get the usage? And I think that it's always possible. So it's not my favorite prop in the world, but it's a very live number, very very doable. So DeRozan 21 points. I do like his props. They are going against Atlanta. You know, again we mentioned this. Atlanta's typically not the greatest defense, a little bit more fast paced. I know things have been a bit different lately, but you know DeRozan 21 points. I do like this. And then White, 16 points. I think you can play him a little bit higher. His production's been a little bit better here recently. You know, I don't know. He'll probably, I guess, probably have a. I don't know if he'll have DeJounte Murray on him or not. But anyway, 16 points. Pretty live number. I don't mind it. Jaren Jackson, he should be in a place to get pretty good run. I would be a little bit concerned. I don't know if there was any reason for it, but I was seeing that his last game, his minutes got cut way, way down. Let's pull this up just real quick so we can see it. Yeah, 26 minutes against Orlando. I don't know if they just got blown out or what happened. You know, and then it wasn't long ago that he got 26 minutes before. So I would say there's a good chance we have him projected around that. You know, we'll pull up this again just real quick to get an idea, but I think that he's around a 24 per 36 this year. And let's just say we'll just do 26, see what it says. So 17, and what do we have him at? We have him at 17. So that's probably what it is. That's probably why we have him at 17. I don't mind that, honestly. I mean, I think it is volatile because this guy getting foul trouble and all sorts of different stuff. The Grizzlies they're going against Detroit now. If he's playing the 5, you know, trying to go up against Duran. Duran's a very strong, much bigger guy. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't mind 17 points. I think it's okay. It's a reasonable prop. We got Pippen in here. I didn't know what else to do. You know, this team's riddled with injuries. You know, it's a volatile bet, sure, but if he plays, I think 9 points is pretty live for him. Jaylen Brown, he's questionable. If he plays, 18 points is pretty live, but you know, we just got to wait and see on this. Same thing with Porzingis. Franz Wagner, 13 points, super live number. I like this prop quite a bit. McCollum, 18 points. I don't mind that. His production's gone up since Brandon Ingram's been out. I don't mind 18 points. I mean, I like it a little bit lower, like 16, but he's been crushing this. I just worry like when's that production gonna fall off. But honestly, I like him more than I do Zion. Like I think he's a more, in my opinion, more trustworthy. I guess. Let's pull him up. Yeah, averaging 20 over the past 10. But I mean, you could see just absolutely crushing it since Brandon Ingram went out. 24, 25, 23, 23, 30, 18. You know, he had one at 16, but, you know, 30. And I would say that was around the time that Brandon Ingram got hurt. I don't know the exact date, but, you know, he's just been absolutely crushing this number. I think 18 is a pretty good spot. You know, they're going against the Suns. The Suns, I mean, who are you going to put on them? Bradley Beal and Booker, Grayson Allen. I don't know. I don't mind it. I think it's a pretty good spot. DeJounte Murray, 18 points. Yeah, I'm not going to. I mean, I think he's got a great role and he's got every opportunity to go above this. I just don't really like playing it more than 18. I think I settle with him at 18. That's kind of the number I have for him. And I'm not going over that. So I just have him at 18 points. Not the greatest spot in the world, not the best matchup, but the opportunity and the role's there. So 18 is very live. Bogdan at 16 points. You know, the opponent, I think the Bulls, they give up quite a bit of like catch and shoot type stuff. Bogdan would probably be the guy that capitalize on that. So, you know, 16 points, pretty live number for him. DeAndre Hunter, 12 points. You know, with Jalen Johnson, or is that right? Jalen Johnson coming back. I don't know. I probably won't be looking to play any of these guys as points prop. You know, 12 is not the worst number in the world. I just kind of wait and see what the production looks like with Jalen back. I felt like his production obviously went up because they needed it more from him, but Jalen Johnson will take some of that production back. So volatile bet, to say the least. Halliburton, 18 points. Yeah, I mentioned this guy already. Kind of a little bit volatile as far as the points go right now. But I never mind a assist prop on the guy. We'll just stay around the 9 on Halliburton. But again, I mentioned this before. The assist prop are not my favorite just due to the fact or like the nature of the prop, the nature of the statistic, and that is that not only does he have to have the assist opportunities or potential assist, the other person actually has to make the basket. And so he could be setting people up all night long. If they're not hitting their shot, then he's simply not going to get the assist. And so because of that, I don't really love 9 assists, or I don't love assist props. But with a guy like Halliburton that probably has way more potential assists than 9, um, leads the league in assists per game. He's more than capable of getting this number. Nembhard at 7 points. This one I like a little bit more. Not that his offense is relied on a whole bunch, but he tends to just get there. So I kind of like that. K, 19 points. He is questionable, but I would say pretty likely to play. Keep your eye on it. But like I said, so he was kind of stuck around that 30-minute mark there for a while, and it looks like maybe his minutes are trending upwards. Keep your eye on that. But I think 19 points is pretty light for him. Let's see how often he's been hitting this number just lately. Miami's a tough team, so he went under in both those, and then Boston's tough as well. So the only game he went under is against pretty strong teams defensively. Everything else he's gone over 19. And they're playing Memphis, which is, I don't know. Earlier in the season, they were a little bit better defensively than they have been as of late. Lately, they've been a little bit weaker, and really even more so to the guard position. So I would say the 19 points is a very live prop. I don't hate that at all. So K, 19 points. We look at that. So as long as he's playing and he's healthy, I think it's worth firing up. Ivy, 14 points. I don't mind this either. I want to see. I think his role's been a little bit wonky here lately. I may be wrong. Let's see. 37 minutes last game, but look, 24, 29, 27, 30, 29. So obviously your floor's 24, and then you have a ceiling of 37. I mean, that's a pretty big window there. Yeah, I don't mind it. I think 14's pretty live. This is the number he gets to pretty regularly. Let's look at his production. So he fell under it twice just here lately, and then once against Miami. So again, Miami's tough. New York is tough. Washington, kind of surprised he didn't get there. But that might have just been due to, I don't know what Cade's production was like, I guess, but in that game. Anyways, moving on. We'll move on. I think 14 is a decent number. KD, 23 points. Should be a pretty good spot for him, but KD, Booker, Bill, all these guys, volatile. It is a tough matchup going against New Orleans. New Orleans is a strong defense, probably one of the better defenses in the league. And any of these guys can score. That's kind of the issue, is that any of these guys, it could, the offense could come from any of them at any point. But the thing that you're going to like about it is that the matchup, like who's going to match up on KD. I mean, I don't think you can put Herb Jones on him. I mean, maybe. I mean, you can try it and see if it works, but I don't think that's going to stop KD. KD's life are going for much more than 23. Now if you take a guy and put like Herb Jones on, say, Booker, that's going to limit his offense. And Bill, he kind of falls down the totem pole. Not that, Bill couldn't have obviously more than 12 points. I mean, clearly he can. He's a great scorer. It's just a matter of whether the role's there or not. But I think KD's next in line. That's the way I see it. And who's going to match up on him? Zion? Trey? I think K's got a pretty good spot here. Or sorry, KD's got a pretty good spot here. 23 points. More than doable for him. I don't mind that. But I'm just going to remind everyone it is volatile. We don't know. This is all like assumptions, and until it plays out, you don't really know. But I think is kind of lining up for a pretty good game here. And these games are very, very important to him as well. They got leapfrogged by Dallas here recently in the seeding, and yeah, they're just going to be looking to play heavy minutes, trying to get back. So I do look for KD to be in a pretty good spot. Brandon Miller, yeah, this dude's volatile as all heck. Just been getting more touch time here lately. Not a bad player, just inconsistent. And 12 points is what it is. It's live. Michich, he's questionable. We don't know if he's going to play or not. But just keep your eye on it. We don't know. 10 points is a live number. If he does, it's a low number. Same thing with Man. Man, 9's already live, but if Michich doesn't play, then we're looking at Man to get even more run, more opportunities to score, and 9 becomes even more live. And so even though it is kind of a tough spot going against Boston, if they play heavy minutes, I think 9 is more than reasonable for him. So maybe keep your eye on that starting lineup. Scoot, 13 points, Banton, 12 points. These are low numbers. These are more than achievable even in a tough matchup. So when you look at a guy like Scoot that's getting the opportunity to have a great role, you have a low number like 13, the potential for him to just absolutely smash 13 even in a tough matchup. I'd be more concerned if this number was higher. If you were up around 20, I'd be like, yeah, I'd be a lot more hesitant. But with a number as low as 13, it becomes just so much more live. And they are going against the Magic. Yeah, I mean, it is a tough spot, but 13 and 12 is just so low that it just live. So, anyways, that's where I'm at. Banton, Scoot, do like those, man. I like more if Michich doesn't play, but I think it's a live bet. We'll run up. KD, I kind of like KD. I don't want to fall too much in love with it just because of the volatility of their offense and, the roles and how they go back and forth. Ivy and Cade are live bets. Nimhard like that. Bogdan at 16 points. A little bit volatile. His production's been up a little bit more lately. Let's hop over here just real quick and see. But I think his production's been up. Boy, my vision's going all wonky on me. Yeah, I mean, wow, he had 38, but 24, 16, 22, 12, 16, 17, and we have him at 16 points. You would almost think that it's just based off like the 16s we're seeing here, but it's really not. It's just taking, the per 36 and then like a floor number in his recent production and just trying to find a number that makes sense. So 16 is kind of where we fall, but I think it's live. I mean, I don't mind it at all. DeJounte Murray, he's in a pretty good spot to get there. McCollum like that. Franz like that. I don't know, for whatever reason, I know we didn't talk too much about Porzingis and Brown just because of their injuries, but if Porzingis plays, I kind of don't mind his prop, but it is volatile. Pippen, if he's in the starting lineup, I'll be looking at this prop for sure. Jaren Jackson, his prop's live. DeRozan, I like more than White's, but both live. Cam T, I like his. Murphy, I like his. Probably his points more than his rebounds, but both of these are very live. It's just a tough spot for rebounds. Zion's points prop is not the worst spot. There's a lot of good stuff going on here, really. Miles, his points prop. I like Capella. Just a volatile role, but I do like it. Vucevic, his rebounds is pretty good spot. And then I like Claxton. I like Tatum. Siakam, points prop. Turner, points prop. And Duran, rebound prop. Those would be my favorite out of everything that we're looking at here. Maybe I'll try to make like a, top 5 favorite or something and share that with everyone. But anyways, that's where I'm at. Hope everyone has really good luck today, and we'll catch you next time. Peace out, guys.